This is the UK's largest independent Tesla-approved accident repair facility, but it also happens to sell, restore, service and store a stunning range of classic and performance vehicles. If you love cars and appreciate their heritage, you're going to love this, but as I show you around and chat to their marketing manager, I pose a few questions. Why get your Tesla repaired here? Can they do classic electric car conversions? And here's an even bigger trigger alert for some. Will Teslas become modern classics someday? Let's find out.
Hi guys, welcome to today's show. Today I'm joined by Jack, who's part of this wonderful business called the Hilton Group. So we're here on a Tesla Owners Club UK grand day out, if you like, and we've just had a tour of this facility, which is absolutely fascinating. We've got hundreds, if not thousands of cars behind us that are classic cars, all in for repairs and stuff. But I just wanted to get Jack's take on what exactly is it that they do here. Just share it with you guys. If you could just bullet point the things that you do.
Sure.
Here.
So under this roof, we've got two companies. We've got Hilton Coachworks, which is the UK's largest independent manufacturer-approved body shop. So that's for accident repairs, scuffs, third-party accidents, that kind of stuff. And then what we've got, which is a little bit of what's in the background behind, is Hilton and Moss, who are a UK leader in classic and performance cars, both the sales, service, restoration and storage. So we do anything from 1950s Gullwings to the modern Lotuses, pre-electric, and anything in between, TVRs, Jaguars, Aston Martins. But when it comes to Tesla, we are a Tesla-approved garage, have been for 5 years. We were one of the very first to get that honour. And what that means is we have all of the authority to use the genuine parts, paints and repair methods to fix Teslas. It was a real good step for us into the EV world especially, and where we service pretty much the whole southeast of England. There's a lot of Teslas in the London area, which we can now look after for people, whether it's minor scuffs, serious collisions and windscreens, anything in between really. The company's 40 years old this year. We started off as a body restoration for MGs, Triumphs, that kind of car, which is now classics. Now what we service back as a classic car was a modern car then. And our first approval was Mercedes-Benz. So we've been working with Mercedes-Benz for 39 years out of those 40 years. And since then we are now on to our 16th and hopefully, fingers crossed without naming names, we'll be on our 17th approval by the end of this year, which is quite an exciting one. Yeah, it's a passion that stems from one man, Mr. Peter Hilton, that has since brought on, there's now a team of 108 of us, all car enthusiasts and I was going to say petrol heads, but that time's not as used as much anymore. You've got all of the EVs and all that kind of stuff. So it's a real cool place to be.
Can confirm. I mean, just walk around this place for 2 hours. The passion in this place, and for you guys who work here, and just to see the restoration workshops and all the cars I'm probably showing you now on the footage. It's amazing. It's really heartwarming actually to see the restoration of these beautiful old classic cars. And as much as I'm my head's in a space where I think electric car conversions would be a great thing to do in the future, but to see the level of detail and the precision that goes into restoring the engines that go into these beautiful old cars as well, that's again it's a beautiful work of art. I don't know, it's just brought back memories of the love that people have for their cars, and it's very different when I'm thinking of a Ford Fiesta and just a basic engine. It's like that could be replaced with electric car, no problem, no need. But for these beautiful old classic cars, I mean, yes, there are electric car conversions, but to see how relevant these classic cars are to be restored and the importance of it is a big deal, isn't it? And seeing somewhere like here where you guys get to work on this every day, it's really heartwarming actually.
Yeah, and I think this is probably one of the very few places in the UK, I'd boast maybe the only place in the UK that you could see an electric car like a 24-plate Tesla being restored next to a Jaguar Mark II, from the 60s, early 60s, but late 50s. And that again just stems from the passion. And when you're talking about electric conversions, we have done them. We work with third-party companies to do them. We've done them with Mercedes, we've done them with Jaguar E-types. A lot of the people in here might not necessarily agree with them, but we understand there's a place for them. Yeah. We work with historic car organisations in the UK to make sure that these cars do have a say in the future, and whether that is converting every single one of them, I don't think that's necessarily in the right direction, but also sustainable fueling, so that these cars stay on the roads in their own rights and stay what they were. They were pieces of art, and they were stepping stones into what we know today when it comes to the automotive industry. So our main focus is to make sure that they're looked after for years to come, you know, and that stems not just into the cars, but to the people we employ. You know, we take on a lot of apprentices and interns, and we do a lot of work experience with younger people to make sure that the passion is kept on for generations to come. You know, a lot of the guys that work on these cars, TVR for example, have been working on them for 25 years. You know, we've got guys that work here that worked in the Blackpool workshop at TVR back in the day. So, but they're not going to be around forever. So it's about passing that passion on and the knowledge on in those cars. You know, when it comes to things like Tesla are really great. We get weekly bulletins about updates for the cars and repair methods and changes. And our Tesla technicians have to go to Holland in order to do their training, that kind of stuff. So that's fine, but these older cars, they don't get that. You know, we've still got some of the original handbooks that we have to flick through by hand in order to find the part and order it online.
Yeah,
so.
I saw the old tool selection you've got by the old, what car was that on?
That was by the Gullwing restoration.
Yeah.
So there's about 18 months down, probably about a year to go on that.
Yeah,
but those tools,
about decades old, aren't they?
Yeah, and they're not just for show. You know, we use them where we can. We're very much, those cars should be fixed in period, and what I say, it's always with a modern twist. So when we paint these cars, we paint with the original colour specs, we paint with the original, you know, tooling and stuff. However, we use modern guns and we use the modern paint ovens to cure the paint, and all that does is preserve the paint better than what it would have been done when it was laid in the 50s.
Yeah.
But it's all still the original colour specs, you know, and we get that through these manuals and through the technology we have now to kind of look into the cars and look into the paintwork. Yeah, it's a pretty special place.
Yeah, cool. And you also, obviously, once you've finished your restorations on a lot of these old cars, you have them for sale. So you can come and have a look around them and just buy them.
Please, but come and have a look around. So we have 2 floors here. That's our showroom. We have a 3rd floor, which is our storage solution. So we have space for about 170 privately owned cars, which does have a bit of overflow in there because there's only so many cars we can fit here. But yeah, a lot of the stuff that we do, we're restoring for sale. So on our ground floor at the moment, might not be here when you get here, but it's a fantastic 1957 300 SL Roadster, which was restored by the Hilton and Musk team. It was 3,500 hours of work, and we did everything in-house apart from the chroming. So we do all of our own trimming, all of our own engine work, our paint, our body work. And that car, after 3,500 hours, has finally come to the sales floor. It comes with us to all of our events, so whether we do stuff here or whether we go out and do things externally, that's kind of our showstopper.
Yeah, oh, it's beautiful.
And the good thing about that one, obviously being a manufacturer-approved repair centre, is that the ski rack on the back of that car is a genuine OEM Mercedes ski rack for that car.
Wow. Yeah.
So that was found in a warehouse at the beginning of this year.
Yeah.
So it's new old stock, but it's a genuine ski rack for a 1957 300 SL Roadster, which we're lucky to have. And if you buy the car, you can have the ski rack.
Nice bargain. So yeah, looking around the storage facility you've got here then, so you basically store cars for people that are, let's say, wealthy folks who can afford to have some cars but they don't want to keep them at home, or they're out of the country for a long time. You could just use this place like a little storage bank for your cars.
Yeah, so people have their cars up here for a few months at a time. We've had cars up here that have sat here for years, but everything gets their own, you know, performance plan, or what I like to call the exercise plan. So we do regular oil changes, and we can take things on road testing where the customer wishes, just to make sure that everything's still moving and greased up and nice and
so you get
fresh.
The pleasure of taking out people's amazing cars just to keep them ticking over.
Yeah,
lovely job.
And when it comes to new sales cars, I get the privilege of taking those out to take them to photo shoots.
Yeah.
As well. So
what fun!
It's a fun place to work.
Yeah, me and the guys were talking from Tesla earlier. We're just saying what an utter dream job it must be for you guys to be working with the thing you love. You know, these classic old cars. You get to look after them, get to drive them. You have all the benefits of playing with these lovely toys, but you don't have to own them or freak out about insurance costs or drive them around.
And things like today is what I love about this job. You know, so having people come here for the first time, being able to show them the facilities, and you know, it's 125,000 square foot. It's a big place.
It's enormous. I had no idea how big it was when we first rolled up.
When you work here every day, you become numb to the fact that you're surrounded by DB5s and E-types and that kind of stuff. So when you get people come in, you know, from the clubs or walking off the street, and you get to show them around, and you take them up to the storage, for example, and they gasp because they realise how big this place is.
Yeah,
it's what reminds you of the sort of job that you've got. And that's what I like about it. That's why I like coming in and doing these, club events.
Yeah, well, it's awesome. Yeah. Well, from my standpoint, being a part of the Tesla Owners Club UK, we get to come on all these weird grand tours of battery facilities and places like this, and you never know what you're going to get. So I'd highly recommend, if you're a Tesla owner, that you join the club and you pay a little bit to support them each year, and you get to come to cool events like this. And you even cooked us some sausages and bacon when we got here. I mean, you are the chef as well of this place.
It's a small company. We have to wear a few different hats, especially when it comes to weekend work. But
and you're a barrister. You made me a coffee before I started. You've done great.
We really appreciate the Tesla Owners Club for putting this on with us. The team that go into making these events happen are fantastic, because they are all volunteers, correct if I'm wrong. So it's all being fitting in around their own job, and it's their passion. And so to have their passion come to life in our facility is fantastic as well. And I do recommend, if you can, and if you can spare a few pennies, to join the club, and you get to meet so many fantastic people. I've met so many great people like yourself today, where you get to share the same passion, and it's just meeting a new person with that same passion. And whether it's a Tesla club that we do, or we do a meetup with the Lotus Club, it's always the same reaction. And you meet so many wonderful people, because no matter what you drive or what your passion is when it comes to automobiles, as long as it's got an engine of some sort and four wheels, everyone's happy.
Or a battery pack. So my love for cars, started years ago. I've always been a car, guy, petrol head, I suppose, and then gone into the world of Tesla and electric cars. And I've always loved thinking of the future as well, and what's it going to be like, for my kids and things like that. So all three of those things have combined. So I just had to make a YouTube channel about it, because it's taking my passion of cars, and I get to meet people, like yourself, with equal passion for internal combustion engines still, and the idea that you're going to keep restoring them and fixing them into the future. It's wonderful. It's just a great thing to do.
I think for me, it's thinking about these cars as future classics, and there's a moment of intrigue there, as to say what's going to happen in 20, 30 years time to the cars that we have now. We're going to start selling them in the showroom. It's all really exciting for what's to come. You can see some stuff becoming what we consider modern classics. Your early 2000s stuff. A lot of BMWs and Mercedes are sort of making their way into what we call the modern classic realm now. TVRs are a perfect example of a modern classic, or a retro. I'm excited to see what these newer cars in years to come.
It's a funny idea, actually, just considering Tesla's where Teslas would sit in there. I mean, you're not going to have a Model 3 or a Model Y as part of a classic any day, are you? It's going to be the car that started, a revolution of electric cars, perhaps, but it's not going to have the same sort of love and passion for restoring, an original Model 3 like
Definitely
mine.
not in our generations. Maybe in generations to come, when that's all they know, possibly. But
maybe the Model X is a Fabergé egg, with its cool windows.
And the Roadster, you can't discount the Roadster. I think I saw my first one at the Tesla Owners Club UK event down in Bicester Heritage. That was pretty special, because I didn't realise how small it was.
Yes.
Considering how big the standard Tesla is now, even the Model 3, the Roadster as the beginning, how small it was.
Well, it's practically not even a Tesla, is it? It's a Lotus.
Yeah.
I mean, this is it just happened to have.
Maybe that's why
batteries.
I liked it so much.
Probably. Well, we're looking forward to the next generation Roadster that might be revealed to us rather soon. So hopefully that'll be a future classic. But well, Jack, thanks so much for chatting to me today.
No, it's
really
pleasure.
appreciate it. Thanks very much.
No, thank you, guys.
All right, I'm Will. This is the Tesla Jigsaw. Thank you, Patreons. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.
Up next, tough call. Watch this before choosing your Tesla Model 3. Or if you want to know why supercharger access has been denied for non-Teslas for the first time, check this out instead.